We take you to Lesotho now, where the Prime Minister, Tabane, has deployed the country's militaries into the streets to restore what he calls order. SABC News reporter Rapelang Radebe joins us now. Rapelang, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. At best, the situation has been described as tense. Is this the sentiment that you're getting across the board?
It is indeed, because people woke up to an abnormal movement, really, of the military with their guns, with their armored cars surrounding key entrances into the buildings, certain buildings, especially around the police headquarters. There was unusual movements of which we knew earlier on the military was deployed to enforce the lockdown, but this was a bit of a show of force, more like a country at war. So there was a bit of tension, yes.
So let's talk about what people are experiencing. Obviously, Lesotho is still pretty much fortunate in terms of the coronavirus infections and the death toll in the form of casualties. And in South Africa here, there have been accusations of the SANDF being heavy-handed. What is the picture, the scene on the streets of Maseru?
Yeah, look, at the start of the lockdown, it was a problem. We saw military really being heavy-handed on the citizens and the police. But they were very quickly called to order, and statements actually thereafter came trying to ease the nation that as much as they want to use the lockdown, the intention is not to harass people, actually even apologizing. We then even saw the military actually being retrieving back to the barracks for a while, which is why I think today's incident was slightly abnormal, that it happened in the nature as it was. But you know that social media nowadays is a buzz. People already start to make their own conclusions or their assessment of the situation as to what is going on. So we picked up whether there was going to be tension building between the police and the military. But it is only towards the evening that we begin to see that there is a relatively calm. Is it the calm before the storm, or what is going on as the situation progresses? It's really nobody's game.
Rapelang, let's get some clarity here on the Prime Minister Tabane saying that he's deployed the military to, and I quote, restore order, saying some law enforcement institutions are undermining democracy. Has he named these? Do we have any idea when he say they are undermining democracy, what exactly he means?
Look, it was strictly a statement, I think, that confused more people rather than provide any solutions. He did not mention as to what this is in relation to, whether is it in relation to the COVID-19 action, but it was really a big statement. But if one tried to piece things together, you will say he attempted a few times to get rid of the police boss, who went to court and actually lost. We know that the parliament was prorogued. Prorogation in this instance meaning all the laws that are on, all the bills that are at parliament then will simply fall apart. His own junior partners actually challenged him in court. And on this Friday, he lost another case, which was very key because the court ordered that the parliament must be reinstated with immediate effect to its original state. Now, all these things are saying, would this be the last attempt for him to try to regain control into the security apparatus? It was a bit of a fear situation that was being forced into the citizens, I think, at that particular time.
This is the question I really want to drill down to as well, given the fact that several weeks ago people were waiting on Tom Tabane to step down from his position, yet on Friday he is seen as trying to suspend Parliament. Is he trying to wrestle control back from the lack of confidence that he has lost?
Yeah. Look, Tabisa, we really have no doubt to believe that the Prime Minister does not want to step down anymore. His age is really on saying to him he needs to cool down a bit. But I think the biggest now concern is who actually is going to take after him, who's going to be his successor. We know very well that within ABC there was furious factions that were splitting simply because maybe he wanted to name the successor that can even protect him when he's at home. That is what we are trying to get, because we know that the ABC actually sat in a caucus and came up with the name of Dr. Majoro, who is now currently the finance minister. But whether this would be a candidate of his choice, this is what I think is beginning to worry, because he seems to have a particular faction that he sort of favors, and we don't know whether this could be the reason that until he's got a successor that can actually serve his interest post his exit, maybe that could be the reason he wants to take control.
Well, thank you very much, Rapelang. A worrying situation for some of those watching that situation developing in the Mountain Kingdom. We will keep tabs on that. SABC News reporter Rapelang Radebe.